But walls reduced to embers, ashes mix the mud. Fording streets, hearkening frontier anxiety. Taking a pass for pass on fellow pedestrians. Congealing to an intrusive gravity of displaced grief. Spinning projectiles, foreign objects, getting stuck with our regurgitated barbs. Teeth talk black, squaring the circle. That peak pit of iron drilling right above my left lung. Grown feeble for proximity to my layabout heart. Mimicry of ethic. You can't walk a boat rope. You can't excavate the unborn while stuck mourning your stale yoke. But there's no need to propagate outrage with such dead space-sucking teeth. Residents cramped by the number of private bubbles. There's no hot water. And the roof leaks chilled by tin. Buckets tied to a shared spigot, retching yellow bile. Wash basin choked by spent clothes, billowing from the fire pits. And in public, incriminating sketches saturate the airwaves. Agitating for alliances forged in postnatal wounds. Foster camps each blaring, flaming beacons emblematic. Present by heads shattering in free association. And in public, the basket quicker as withered and matted braids. Picnic postponed till we buzz in tall grass. Without interference from phantom radiation and the profusion of gray painted over with comic faces. Further out, past the fray, tangled wireless and miasma, there's a house whose floor plan changes with each uncertain step. Euclid's red-headed cousin calling shots from the agora, staircase exposed by a dismantled wall, leading to an attic where a herald once dwelt, with no gospel to gush, biting tongues and teachings, apocryphal riddles read from banners and tatters, broadcasting in ignorance so unpalatable to the public. There, ostracized, noise recognized as such, vagabonds bound, drowned with no lifeboat to latch, rivers flood and muddy, channels all static, the water runs clear beneath the cataracts. The fount of youth is a well hidden there from the horse, on a backwoods hillock shrouded in smoldering peaks, fed by all you hadn't and couldn't have been, listening as you did, colonized by hubris. Domain of Icarus and his fellows fertilizing the poppy fields of Neverland. Placeless and timeless where Uchronia meets Utopia. Embryonic, sketched faithfully by memory obscura. An offense to the fates and the denigrators of fiction. Like fables as fact to perpetuate friction. Distilling a flow nostalgia as a metallic solution. While treading on the truth table scarce from the aquifer. Where metals eviscerate while swift binds neurotic. It's impossible to forgive without a glint of bedrock. Easy to make grit an all-compromising fantasy. Weaving as we do all these noxious narratives. How's one to tap vitality? Violence raising us from babes. Future dystopic and just chronic in the midst. Vilifying chosen lives for polluting an ever-present past. Inflamed as we are, why welcome water? When it quench would extinguish, the smoke and mirrors we exclaim as our so-called selves. Abraxas or Moloch, we all keep altars to memory. Not the pressing of petals to remind us spring rears perennial, but memorials of morally sliding deserts over inflection. Press trumpets posting notice prohibiting protests of a new dawn. The sun winds and wakens while film can make high noon of midnight, make gossip of premonition, and megalomania of seeking. At the mouth of a cave, yawning admissions over the sea, peeling veneers of backtrack on power wash green and sacrifice. Sacrifice of the past as an odious ode to what it passed for. Stick a caption on the pain. Inherited, regenerative, so will never be released from the cage of once wished. But be sad for the fervor of bearing down blind on this necrotic road. Keep the vein open, the veil staunch and screwed to hazard signs. Token acknowledgement of the wary soul as dead weight. Dead weight! We all carry it in our hearts. I think bloodletting is salvo. Lightheadedness health. The vicious profusion, the promise of vital signs spent. So everything I spring for must be snatched from serendipity. Serenity and extravagance for those who can capture another's vigilance. And vault it, buttressed with the ransom of kings. I am always a thief, No matter whose pockets I finger, I'm worthy of more than chastened Satan's chastity. A masturbatory blame for derelict shelter, baring my teeth at foes who fetishize fencing, as an assertion of providence and baptismal peril for heathens such as I, waiting with the witless with a life preserver, while others brandish oars. There's no way up the great river without hollowing an ancient trunk that if left a branch could offer shade and cover from the ancestors' spectacles. I can't make sense of these numbers, only see that the script of past due. Trotting limbo, scraping the floor, shoulders straining from the sod. Never a globe held buoyant every night, risking rest and solvent since the day I was born. And the veterans tell me there's no pious protection, only wrought armor and volatile insurance against mortal debts, turning the other cheek a fallacy to keep blueprints branded on the downtrodden, turning on each other a guilty pleasure, a vengeance on that self-language for so long scribbled on the margins. The cop in your head has a gun and prods you down the plank of the conquistador, but the island is a haunt, prayerless, and haunted by each misstep, which feeds the slow immolation of mutual sacrifice, care criminalized a forever suspect of forgery, for who tends to another's wounds when the whole campus combusted with syphilitic rage, succumbing to the robber barons of their single incantations. Oh! 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 Only by denial can be more than nil. Todos is simply pathological charity, and begging's only fit for rabid dogs. No matter if they work, you can mush a wolf. All paupers hold high their empty plates, no matter if they dance to the tune of an overseer or a vandal picking his teeth with a rusty blade. One libation of slick concrete, we sweat against frigid air. Ring with the little spirits who thumping psalms for our feet, while ocular inscription reflects your diction. Orchid, respire, scum, expire, seething on a cypress knee, born against the same hollow, nodding umbilical and cosmetic severance. There's no body to tend to. Torpor is annihilable. Just the vestiges of ravages recidivised by time. But the soul holds up, never wholly deconicized. My eyes second ether and all the becoming aversions slide. And when the violence returns, that bubbling stock of futility, what haven do we have of hurling self into space? Burden to air, a collective tempest of recognition, not to be exercised, but cradled in cobbled reeds. Held in joint expiration in the elements that molded us, shielded in gyrations in the idle hands that discard us, tormenting to yield a gift whip and bugle, and these lame and lepers who pass needs to be unbound. What response do we have when the taste of the air, when the ground seizes in anger, grounded by hooves and reaper treads, when the cry is heard as cry, and not a carrion call, and blood becomes blood, convulsive progenitor of history. Rewritten insanity as we find ourselves at the banks. Is it selfish to rejoice despite the ever-expanding deserts? Dance or you die! Don't give the peace your precious pain! It will be devoured with your joy, eyes wrapped in newsprint, unable to tell the difference between heaven and Eden. But how can there be both at Eden and heaven? Why plaster above the swallow of young Terra? A regressive reflection of that nebulous gloom, shrouded and estranged by tangled remembrance. A chronic displacement of duty and parentage. The gates of the garden have long been lying shut, and pride reveal a dream but condemned to doubt. For before salvation there is only sacrifice. Shadow play sacred, always titillates projection. Just confused in time to approximate eternity. Take grief for hope, lost for return, to the home dealt away in exchange for nibble hands. While the sculptors of all with ingenious well done task, work finished by gnosis, stigmata, no handicap, but the sacrifice what is, the birth what couldn't be, immaculate without seed or tiller, solely by proffering broken promises. What sanctuary lies there in the vapor of false prophets? Save washing our hands of that mud, we can never resuscitate with such haggard breath. Animated navigate such divine loneliness. Self-acquittal is not the same as absolving abuse. No matter the evolution we partake in, reaching for that forever beyond, for that preemptively foreclosed.